Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
So other names, these are both our names. Are they of the same length? Are they? Length of the names. The same? No. Right. But still, we are looking to get something like this. So what we realized is that we have to undergo a logic. And what is the logic? We are going to take the first character of the first name and then 3 characters of the last name. So we are not going to read the entire string. We are not going to read entire the name of it. We are only going to take the initials, the first character, so first character of the first date. That is M for Mohan and S for Srinivas. Correct? Yeah. So the type of operation where we read only a part of the string is called a substring. We are only reading a part of the string. We are not reading the entire string. The entire string would be Mohan. This is the first name, but we are not reading the full thing. We are doing only a stub or a part of it. That's why we are saying the first character of the first name. So this is a substring, so we are reading only part of it. So here, we are doing a first character of the first name. What about the second one? Which function should we use? Substring. Again a substring, right? Again a substring. So this is again a substring. Alright, what about the third one? Concatenate text. Concatenate text. Concatenate text, right? Concatenate text. And then, what about the last one? Format text. Format text. Although from the name, it is not very obvious. But yes, you're right, it is the format text field that we are going to use. Okay. So what are we doing here? We are using a combination of different calculations to come up with the end result. Alright. So some programmers, if you have a programming background, you might find it a bit different. Or maybe you would say, hey, maybe you have the ability to at least write some programming language. But the answer is no. Because the calculated fields are designed for everybody. It is designed for people with programming experience, even people without programming experience. So that is why we are not going to write any piece of code whenever we are doing calculations or calculated fields. So here are the different calculated fields that we have. There can be of 2 broad categories. One is the category of calculated fields which will return a fixed format. A format meaning either it will be number or text, or organization, or data or Boolean. So those are the ones right here at the top. These functions will return a fixed format output. And when you do an arithmetic calculation, it will always return a number. If you do a concatenate text, if it always returns the result, it will always be a text field. Correct? But there are some functions which can be configured to return any of the above types or any of the above formats. So those are the ones at the bottom of your screen. So those are the ones which let me highlight them. So these are the ones that can return any type of output. So when we create those calculations, we have to define what will be my output type. Am I looking for a Boolean? So yes, any value expression fields can be configured to return a Boolean. Okay. Let's say I want a number. So evaluate expression can be used to return a number. So these functions, the one that I had to agree at the bottom of your screen, they can return any of the above formats. They are not restricted to any specific output format type. That makes it very powerful and very flexible. So we will see. So over the next 2 or 3 sessions, we will look at the different calculated fields, what they can do, and how we use them, and how we test them out. But before we create our first calculated field, we must know how to create a calculated field. Okay. Now to create system-wide calculated fields. We will use a task, of course. The task is create calculated field. That is the task that we are going to use. Whenever you use that task, you have to think about the following things. First is you have to give a name. In Workday, whenever we create objects, we have to give a name. So here also, whenever we create a calculated field, we will give a name. Then we have to select a business object. The business object is where work is stored. It's data. So whenever we create a calculated field, we have to tell Workday where to store the calculated field. So that is the thing about what kind of field you are creating. Are you creating a field on the worker? Like we say, the calculation that we were doing, where we were combining the first name, last name, etc., etc. So what were we doing there? Where do it? Where would we store it? That was worker information, isn't it? The first name, the last name, and we combined them together. So the information was retrieved from the workers. We are storing it in the worker. So we will use the business object called worker. If we are doing something in terms of dependent, if you are doing something in terms of location, if we are doing something in terms of supervisory organization. So we will choose the business objects accordingly. How to choose the business objects? I'll tell you. So at the time of creation of a calculated field, we must select a business object. Then we have to choose a function. Which are the functions? What are the functions? Here are the functions, right? So we have to choose one of these functions. You add at a point. You can choose only one function for a calculated field. So you have to choose a function. Choose one function. So you choose a function, not many. You choose a function. This is a keyword. And then, depending on the function, you will get your calculation term. And in the calculation type, we have to specify what are we going to convert, or what will be our parameters. Like, let's say, you are converting the name to up a game. Sorry, you are doing a substring. So what will be your parameter? If we look at this particular example, let me just use eraser here. If you are looking at this particular example, what will be the parameter for this substring? The first one. First name. First name. First name is your input parameter. What about the second one? The second substring. Last name, the last name. And what about the concatenate text? What are you concatenating? Are you concatenating first name and last name? First name and first name and first name and first three characters of the first of the last name. So basically, let me put it as a full screen. So if you are doing a calculation, so this will be a calculated field. You're doing this calculation. So let's call it as CF1. And this is what? CF2. So this concatenate of 3, but for CF3, what will be your input parameters? Will it be first name and last name? Yes, 1 and CF2. Correct. So for my CF3, my parameters are CF1 and CF2. Similarly, the last step. In the last step, we are converting that to lowercase. So what will be my parameter? Yes, 3. My parameter will be. My input parameter will be CF3. And this is for saying unnecture the logical flow of the calculations. You understood the logical flow of the calculations that we went through. Right. We created one calculated field, CF1, where we did a substrate. Then we did another calculation for CF2, we did another substrate. So when we had to concatenate, so we had already built those things. So we will use those, and not the first name or the last name. Right? We will CF4 and CF2. And then we have to make it in lowercase. So can we use CF1 and CF2? No, we have already concatenated them.
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@upptalk.com.